never in my life did I go to Arizona a week early and practice.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, I think that this is kind of what I needed, was a little bit of like maybe a wake up call.
Sure. What's up, everybody? Johnny Disc Golf here at the 2020 Las Vegas Challenge presented by Innova. And I am here with the free man now, Mr. Drew Gibson. How you doing, buddy?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great. Really, my first question for you, how was the off season?
I was definitely good. I mean, just dialing all types of discs. I mean, just trying to try different things, try this, try that. I actually took the rocks out of my bag from like October till now. Like those 2 rocks now are the first time they've been in the bag for months.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just trying to learn other mid-ranges. Like, I'm so comfortable with the rock. Like, I've thrown the rock for so many years, like even before I was ever sponsored. So I try to like make myself learn other mids, you know, and the only way to do it was take those out because I'm so comfortable with them. So my buddy Nick at home was like, dude, stop, you need to throw with the rock again. I'm like, trust me, I'm getting there, you know, but then also all my signature discs aren't out. So I'm kind of like building my bag right now around like none of my signature discs besides for the Legacy Phantom Warrior. So I, like, obviously my bag's gonna change a lot once all my discs come out, so.
Yeah, and you know, the reason why you took out the rocks, because you've switched over to an Infinite Discs as your like primary sponsor, correct?
Correct, yeah. So I'm under Infinite Discs, which they're just the biggest retailer, so I can use anything that they sell, any brand, anything. So it helps me because I can call them and say, hey, I want to try the Wasp, or I want to try the Drone, or the, you know, any brands, you know, mid-range, and I can get them. So it helps me out knowing, oh, you know, if one week I think that the Whip It, for say, is the best shot for the hole, I can use that disc, or the Triple X the next week, or, you know, the Legacy Outlaw the next week. It's like, whatever, I'm like, oh, this shot shape's just like this disc. I can use it no matter who it's made by. So it's a pretty cool little thing.
Yeah, I love it. I feel Dave Feldberg was kind of that first person we saw last year take that step into like high-level mixed bag play. I guess Nico's always been that way, but he wasn't necessarily like sponsored by you know, traditional thing like Infinite Discs. How do you feel like this is going to change your game, or do you think it's going to change your game?
I think it'll make me better. I think that just having that confidence, like, no matter whose lineup you're playing for, I don't care who sponsors you, they don't have every single disc. Like, you know, and Innova has small holes, you know, Legacy has small holes, DD has small, any manufacturer has small holes. So the fact that I can literally build a bag and fill every single hole that I think is there with any disc, I think it just gives me an advantage that, like, not saying I'm going to shoot 10 strokes better around, but you know, 1 stroke at the end of a 4-round tournament, that's 4 strokes. I mean, I've lost a few tournaments by 4 or less in my career, so, you know, that goes from like tie to win by 1, you know, makes a difference.
Absolutely. You're wearing the Legacy Discs shirt right now. I know you've got a great relationship with those guys. They're California boys just like yourself. You do have the signature disc through Legacy, correct? You mentioned it a little bit ago. What are the details with that?
I have a Phantom Warrior, which is their rival mold, just in a plastic that I helped them design, which I thought made the disc a little more reliable to like my arm speed. So then we have a disc called the Vengeance coming out, which is like a Thunderbird, probably like a 10-speed fairway driver, that I like really helped them design and like work the mold, and like we're retooling it now. Like, you know, we did a bunch of stuff for that disc. So I have 2 discs with them, and then I'm gonna have 2 discs with Infinite Discs as well. So I'm gonna have 4 total discs.
Wow.
And then that's before, like, I haven't negotiated with Discraft or anybody else yet. There's just Infinite and Legacy are my 2 like main sponsors. I have 4 discs coming out through there.
Wow, and so are those all going to be like unique molds or unique plastic types, like, or is it more so like putting your name on a slab type of deal?
So from each company, I got 1 existing mold and 1 new mold. So Infinite Discs, we're making a brand new disc they never made for me. And that's going to be a mid-range, and I'm sure you could guess what it's going to be like. And then from Legacy, I pretty much took over the rival, just made it in my plastic. Like, it's literally called like in the factory DG plastic. Like, they're not going to make it any other disc.
Really?
It's just for me. Yeah. So I'm going to have that, and then we made the Vengeance, which is a Thunderbird type disc. So like I said, I'm going to have 1 stock disc that they had prior, then 1 disc that we added in.
Okay.
So
that's awesome.
That's going to be 2 new, 2 existing.
So I said earlier, we're at the Las Vegas Challenge. You know, fantastic event. Generally, that first big kickoff event of the year. You're not on the list though for playing.
Yeah.
What's up? What's the deal?
But usually it's really cold here, and obviously it's beautiful now. Like, we're out here in shorts and I'm pretty much a t-shirt. But I wasn't gonna play. I was just gonna go to Arizona a week early and practice and get, you know, 5, 6, 7 extra rounds in that, you know, I wouldn't have got if I came here. And I stopped. I didn't want to drive the 12 hours straight to Arizona, so I made a pit stop here, played the Innova course this morning, shot 13 under, went upstairs and said, "Hey Jeff, can I play?" And Jeff's like, "The tournament's for, you know, we close registration, whatever." So I didn't plan to play, but I would have signed up and played if they had let me in. But just didn't kind of work out that way. They closed registration. I mean, it's a huge tournament, so I get it. You know, they have to shut it down eventually. They can't let me sign up the morning of. You know, I get it. So I kind of missed the boat there, but I'm still happy with my choice to go to Arizona and dial that in. I think that, you know, I've been a contender there before. I've had a lot of good finishes there. So I think if I get, you know, 4 or 5 extra rounds of most players, you know, give me advantage and dial my putt in and just go out there and enjoy a little vacation type thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me ask you, this tournament has been a national tour in the past. You know, it's been one of the bigger A tiers in the past. This year, it's back to that A tier status. Did that have any effect on your decision to play it, or I guess not to play it?
Yeah, I mean, if it was NT, I wouldn't have skipped it. You know, because it's 8 hours from my house. You know, I'm already here. Obviously, I'm here. You know, I stopped by just for fun. Like, it's that close to my house, you know. So if it's an NT, I'm not, or a Pro Tour or whatever, I'm not going to skip it. I just the fact that it was the A tier, and like I said, I didn't want to come play the first A tier of the year in the freezing cold, shivering my butt off. You know, so obviously if we signed up for a tournament based off the weather, we would play a lot and wouldn't play some, you know. So
you never know.
You know, it was just kind of a thing where I looked at the thing and I'm like, well, if it's not a NT, you know, I don't need to be there. Like, I don't have to sign up. So I'm like, if I could go down there, and I didn't think I wouldn't get in. You know, I thought in my head, oh, they'll let me in. You know, if I show up a couple of days early, no big deal. So it didn't work out that way, but, you know, there's nothing we could do. It just kind of happened. But I think that if it was NT, you know, I would have signed up for sure.
Okay. Well, this is the beginning of the year. We've got, goodness, like 8 months ahead of us right now. Are you
24 big tournaments.
Is that the number?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Are you going to be on the road full time? What's your tour plan, you know, going forward?
I've worked out a sponsorship deal with Disc Golf Pro Tour.
Oh.
So I'll be playing all the Pro Tour events, like helping them do media at those events, like, you know, helping them along the way. And I'd always been involved with Steve Dodge and them. Like, Steve would tell you that I was like one of the huge contributors to their, you know, anything that they did, like playing wise from a player standpoint. So when Todd Rainwater took over, I'm actually pretty close with him, and Jeff Spring, I'm really close with him. So this offseason, I've been on the phone a lot with Jeff, and, you know, not really Todd, but Jeff, talking about, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? So I'm going to be at all of their events. I might miss Jonesboro depending on what's going on, but I might have other plans for a video that I'm going to do. So I might skip it because of that. But other than that, I think that I'll be at all the big events. I didn't actually get into GBO. I'm on the wait list for GBO.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
guys in Emporia, get this man in. You're on like lead card, I feel like every year there.
A lot of years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it just like, oh, you know what? Didn't it like sell out like 6 months? Isn't it like unbelievably?
Yeah. So when the registration came out for us, I was in the middle of like sponsorship change. So not that I couldn't have paid the entry fee, but I was like, oh, I'll wait until I know what I'm gonna do, like what company. I just like was in the minds more worried about my contract than I was signing up for the tournament 9 months before it happened. So it just kind of spaced my mind. And then by the time I got everything dialed in, I went to the thing and I was like 20th on the waiting list. So I called Rusco and I was like, hey man, like, I don't know what, I mean, I'll do a clinic for the kids. Like, you know, I'll try to contribute to your community if you can let me in. And he's like, oh, well, we can't do anything like that. And I'm like, okay, well, and so I pretty much told him, like, hey, if I don't get in, I don't get in. But again, it was my fault. You know, I could have done, just like this, I could have signed up and been like, hey, can I get my entry fee back? But I just didn't even think about it. It just wasn't something that crossed my mind. So
yeah, well, I mean, it's so early. I guess it's funny because like the season ends, and I swear it feels like we were at Pro Tour Championships like 3 weeks ago. Yeah. Like the off season flew by. Did you have that same? I
feel like my back was just detached, and now all of a sudden I'm back to throwing again.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I think that one thing, and like I said, it's no one's fault but mine. You know, I'm not sitting here blaming. Like, I just didn't. In my head, I'm like, oh, GBO signups, and I forget that, you know, it's like there's only like 50 top men in the world. You know, so it's like, how do we fill 150 spots? In my head, I'm like, oh, there's 150 spots. Like, I'll be fine. You know, like, it's like Texas State's. There's 120 spots available and 60 are in. So it's like that tournament's not going to fill up. You know, it's right down the street. You know, it's like, and you know, I just crazy to me how like some of those tournaments, you know, they fill up, and then it's like, I mean, like I'm on the wait list, Kevin Jones on the wait list. Like, there's a lot of
GBO.
There's a lot of great players on the wait list. There's like, I think there's 6,000 or 7,000 players on the wait list.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and it's kind of one of those tournaments where I don't know if the fix is maybe making the guidelines more strict or just telling us dumb pros to sign up sooner.
Yeah.
You know, like they give us plenty of time. So
exactly.
You know,
I'd love to see like some sort of team manager. You're in like a bit of a nebulous there, but like a team manager that's kind of like responsible for coordinating all those things. Could you see that happening in the future?
I mean, I think that for any major sport, you know, they get there. You know, I mean, you think Tiger Woods books his plane flight?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like you think Tiger Woods signs up for the Shell Houston Open? You know, he doesn't. You know, but it's like, you know, that guy's also, you know, probably paying that guy $1 million a year to do that stuff for him. So, you know,
we'll get there.
Yeah, I think that we'll get there. I just don't think that we're there yet, and I think that we should be responsible enough to do it ourselves. Like I said, I'm not blaming anybody. You know, I made the poor choice to not sign up. I saw the signups and didn't sign up, so, You know, and I knew I was going to play. No matter who I was sponsored by, it didn't matter. I was going to sign up. So it was kind of, like I said, a brain fart on my point. But I don't think there's a fix. I think it's just we get plenty of time.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a lack of time. It's just we all, you know, me, Kevin, whoever else is on that wait list, we just needed to use our brains a little better and go, oh, do we want to play? Yeah, we should sign up. You know, so I don't know.
Well, let me ask you. You had the biggest win of your career last year. I feel safe to say, Portland Open.
Most people's career.
Yeah, most people's career, right? Are there any like hard, fast goals this year? Are you like, do you have it on paper, events that you want to finish high? Like, do you have a plan? Do you have a goal for these next 8 months?
I think that I proved like in years, even before I ever had a big win, that like I was capable. You know, I've been on plenty of lead cards, plenty of, you know, had a chance to win it. Even at USDC, like second, third round, you know, I'm like right there in the mix, and then end up getting 28th or whatever. But it's like I had the chance to finish well. So I think I just want to be more consistent. Like, you know, there's some tournaments where I won't cash, and there's some tournaments where I win.
Yeah.
You know, it's like literally I won Portland Open, didn't cash Beaver State Fling the next, you know, week later. So
10 days after.
You know, it's like I just need to work on that. Like I think myself, you, I mean, I'm capable of doing it. It's just a matter of how often I do it. And I think that this year I'm a little more, I don't think motivated is the word, but I think that like having the open bag, like, you know, I'm excited to play.
Yeah.
You know, like I used to play like one practice round a day, putt 10 times before the round and get back in my car and cruise home. You know, I was playing 3 rounds a day putting, you know, so it's like I was like getting back into, I mean, today I came out here and played, you know, played great. Like last year when I came to this tournament, I hadn't played in months. I was only like working out. Like I was in like just like a weird mental space of like I was playing because I felt like I like had to play. You know,
like a job.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm a disc golfer, so I'm gonna go to the tournaments and show up. You know, and I wish I would have been a little more kind of this year. Like I woke up and like yesterday, you know, 2 days ago before I left, I played 2 rounds of disc golf and like putted. You know, it's like. I think this year I'm just a little more into it, you know. So like I said, I'm never in my life did I go to Arizona a week early and practice, you know. So it's like I think that this is kind of what I needed was a little bit of like maybe a wake up call, you know, like hey, your skill isn't just going to get you down. I mean, Kevin. I mean, you would name the top 10. Those guys are the hardest working people in the sport, and there's a reason. You know, I mean, look at Macbeth. Like every day he's posting some video on a boot playing disc golf. You know, so it's like everyone that we all want to beat is working their butt off. So you know, if you want to compete with them, you have to do the same thing. So. I just think that this year I'm probably a little more like in the zone as to like playing and like wanting to be better and wanting to like put in the time on the putt and like, you know, and I changed putters this year. So it's like I'm a little more, you know, I had to practice a little more and like, obviously I could have stuck with it, but I just wanted something a little different.
Yeah.
And it was something that I never really got to use before. Like it was a putter I kind of had a miss in my bag.
Ooh, well, let me ask you: is it putters are a disc that's new to you that you've always wanted to use? Are there any new discs to your bag that like you've seen on the sidelines and always wanted to throw, and now you're able to throw it?
The Buzz.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Really?
The Buzz. Yeah. Okay. I mean, like before I was ever sponsored, I used to throw a Crystal Buzz, and back then I threw a lot of more sidearm, and I like sidearmed them back. Like it was just like the purest disc I had, and then I played for Innova for years and years and years. Played for DD for 2 years. Went back to Innova for 2 more years. So it's like, you know, there was a 7-year span where I never could use the Buzz, and now it's like maybe I wouldn't say a staple in my bag, but I mean I definitely use it a lot. And then there's the Zone. You know, I have a lot of Discraft discs in my bag right now that like I think as the season goes on and I get my own signature disc and stuff like that, I think that some of them will come out. You know, but I mean I think that a decent amount of the discs are like the Discraft stuff, like the Zone. I mean, who doesn't love the Zone? Like
exactly.
You know, it's like oh the harp. It's like at that time no one was really on Discraft to promote the Zone. Now that Macbeth's on.
Now it's all over the place.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, Ricky was like the one guy throwing the sidearm putter, killing it, and it's like, oh, the harp, and now it's like Macbeth's out there getting eagles with the Zone, and it's like the Zone, you know. So it's like, you know, back in the day, I used to throw Buzz, Drone, Zone was my mid ranges, and then Rock, obviously. Then I got sponsored by Innova, and then it just, you know, I never even thought about him. I was like, you know, 7 years ago, I was 14, 15 years old. So it's like I never thought about like, oh, what am I gonna do with these? You know, like I just was like, and then now I'm back to it, and Bob Julio sent me a box, and I was like. Oh, these are
right.
Yeah, I'm like, this is nice, you know, like I was out there playing today and like all those like par 4s, I was like throwing just like Destroyer, Heiser, then Zone flex up shot, like birdie. So it's definitely a spot I never had in my bag. You know, the Buzz is a little farther rock. You know, it's not as good in the wind because it doesn't have a bead, but I mean, it's a great addition to your bag. If you're out here, I mean, not enough wind to really mess with anything. So I'm just excited to kind of feel like I have a fresh start. You know, I can work with everybody. I can work with, you know, I can make a video with Ricky. I can make a video with Macbeth. You know, I can do all types of stuff that I would have never been able to do before. Which in the point of disc golf right now, like, you know, it's all about building, just like you, building your brand. You know, trying to start something, and you know, maybe when disc golf is $1 million a year thing, you know, then you're there. You know, so that's the same way I started my company this year. You know, it's like might not be the greatest thing this year or next, but hopefully in 5 years, you know, it's a staple and a something that people can, when they get into disc golf, it's like, oh yeah, here's the 10 companies, and it's like, hopefully I'm one of those.
Yeah, can you speak a little bit about that? Because I know that you've made a really more concerted effort to do a lot more media. You've got a YouTube channel now. You might have had it in the past, but at least now you're like committed to uploading. Yeah, so you're committed to uploading content. What's that been like, and why, really?
I think that the content was via my contract with Infinite. Part of my negotiation was he asked me to do 24 disc reviews, and I said, okay, like that's good for me. It's good for my brand to do it. So I was like, okay, yeah, like of course I'll do it. And I was like, man, this is a good opportunity for me to like grow my brand and like have people take my word on discs. And I'm known for throwing far. So if I review a disc, people want to watch it just because they think it's going to go far. Sure. So it kind of gives me advantage when it comes to like a disc review of like I can do stuff with the said disc that most people can't. So it makes people want to watch. Like my Buzz video right now has like 11,000 views, I think, just off like a normal Buzz. It's like nothing crazy. So I think that just like the opening for me to do more media kind of like sparked my interest. Like my Instagram has been pretty active and good for years now, but I never did like much Facebook, never did any on YouTube, nothing on YouTube other than like you or whoever else asked me to interview. So I think I just saw the opportunity to like, hey, I have to do 24 disc reviews anyway. Might as well make a little 9-hole challenge. Might as well do some other things. And like, I'm trying to post 30 videos this year.
Okay, that's the goal, 30?
Yeah, cool. I mean, and if it's, because I have to do 24. Yeah. So I have to assume I'll make 6 other random videos along the way. Cool. So my goal is kind of 30. Like I think that I'll make, in the bag, there's 25, then 5 more is gonna be pretty easy. Yeah. So I want to do maybe some stuff with you, like a poster on interview type thing, it goes on my channel. For sure. Just stuff to where, like I said, I think 30 would be a good number of like, not too much content, but stuff to where people, I could post a decent amount and people are going to be intrigued still.
No, I love it, and I love to see all the players really like sinking their teeth into the media stuff. It seems more and more that people are realizing like that's just the best way to connect to your fans. I think that's just going to go up and up. So
yeah, I mean, the fans can feel like they know you. It's like that's why I try to like on my Instagram stories, I try to post like my normal life, like go-kart, shoes, like stuff that people can like be involved in, because it's like, oh, they might not like how I play or might not like, whatever, but like if they're like, oh man, I like go-karts, like he posts about it's like you get fans of people who might not be a fan of your game, but are like, oh man, he likes shoes, he likes, whatever. So it's like a little niche. Yeah, it's like, and just like me, I mean, I follow people that I might not love this about them or whatever, but it's like, oh, I like that they post about this sometimes, so it's like LeBron. Yep. It's like I don't really care for LeBron's basketball content, but his other stuff he posts keeps me around. So it's like I just think that when people get caught in like just posting disc golf, it's like sometimes people are like, oh, why do you not post about disc golf that much? It's like, well, I post about disc golf weekly on my post, but it's like my story is like my life, like what I'm doing that day. If I'm going to go chill on the couch and wear a pair of Yeezys, then I'm gonna post it on my Instagram. It's just like a thing that anyone can relate to. Versus like, hey, I just threw 600 feet. Not everyone can like relate to that. So people are like, oh well, who cares? Great. It's like if you post something I feel like people can engage with, like, oh man, now I'm doing the same thing. It's a better feeling for everybody.
No, you're totally right, and I can't wait to see all the content you're going to produce this year, and we're going to produce, and everybody's going to produce. Yeah. I'm super stoked for the 2020 season. That's all I got for you now, though. If you guys would like to check out Drew on YouTube, look up Drew Gibson, and keep on the lookout at the Memorial, because I know you're practicing. You're going to be up in the top. That's all I got for him, though. If you guys would like to follow all things disc golf, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for checking out that interview. I am having a blast out here in Vegas, getting the season started, getting my foot on the ground and the wheels on the road. Thank you so much to all of you that have followed along all of last year and continue to watch this year. Can't wait for this season to produce so much content and a lot of new stuff that you guys, I think, are going to enjoy.